Yeah. Welcome, welcome, take your seat where wisdom and strategy finally meet. Leadership, purpose, vision, insight, relevant solutions, shine in the light. Shine in the light. Got a problem, let's find the way. Turning obstacles into purpose today. From the boardroom to ministry to building strong leaders, making dreams come true. Knowledge and wisdom, insight and grace, helping you navigate every place. When challenges rise and the pressure's on, relevant solutions keeps moving strong. Relevant solutions, that's what we do.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Relevant Solutions with Dr. Ebony, where we have real conversations that lead to real solutions. This is a podcast where leadership meets purpose and conversations lead to transformations. I am Dr. Ebony Wallace. I'm an educator, a strategist, a speaker, and an author. And each week we'll tackle problems that nobody prepared us for. We want to unlock practical solutions for leadership, life, faith, business, education, and even personal growth, because every challenge deserves a solution. So I say, welcome to our platform. Today's guest is none other than Indya Chanel. And what I appreciate about her is she's a financial solutionist who started out as a young woman in construction. So she is pioneering. She's an author. She's a chaplain. She is a leader. But enough about that. Let us dive in and let her tell you her story.
Hi.
Hi. So, Miss Indya Chanel, the claps. Miss Indya Chanel, we want you to go ahead and tell us your story behind this title. Not only how you got started, maybe for some young entrepreneurs, but like what experiences that you went through in your career, in your life story that prepared you for what you're doing now.
Sure. Well, first, thank you, Dr. Ebony, for having me. I'm so happy to be a guest today on Relevant Solutions. As you all know, my name is Indya Chanel. I am a financial solutionist, the founder of Tick Capital Firm, where we help founders connect to capital. A little bit about me. Well, I'm still youngish. I started in the workforce when I was 17 years old, working in construction and helping a small construction business to grow their sales through data entry and other coordination, like project coordination. So from there, I just continued to grow in that career field until the real estate crash happened in 2008. But it didn't catch up to the construction industry until about 2009 or 2010. And that's when I decided to get my insurance license. So I became a licensed life, health, and variable annuity insurance agent. And I was doing absolutely amazing in my career. I was young, I was making money, doing a great job. And I had some traumatic experiences with some accidents, some freak accidents. And I had to learn how to walk again. I was on bed rest for about a year. And I thought to myself, well, maybe I won't have anything to do. I don't know what to do. And that's when I began to pray and ask God what to do. I went back to school and started working on a degree. And nonetheless, life just really started lifing. Life started going all different types of directions. And finally, in 2015, I surrendered my life to Christ. And from that moment forward, it's been step by step, day by day, just new opportunities, new ways of looking at things, and definitely new solutions that I didn't know about before. And so that's what brings us here today.
So, with that, what is some advice that you wish someone would have given you sooner? So like, things that you weren't prepared for. As a young person, we're gung ho, like you say, you're out there, you're making money, and then things shift. What is some advice at this age that you're at now, the youngish age that you just told me about? What is some advice that like you wish you just would have had sooner that would have grounded you just a bit more?
Well, I thank you for that question. I'm 38 years old. I'm
Okay.
38 years old, and I had a wonderful upbringing. My mom, she did a great job raising myself and my sisters. My family, we have a strong foundation. They always gave us the advice to, keep God first and to pray, and those were the pieces of advice they gave us. My mom is a financial expert. She's a construction accountant. She's really a CFO for a construction company. So I always had the best of both worlds. Like I've had, prayer and practicality. But if I were to say to anyone, I think the biggest mistake that I made in life was not going to college sooner. I had
Mm,
the opportunity to graduate high school at 16 years old, and I was afraid to leave home. And so some of the decisions that I made as a very young person would have propelled me into a more accelerated career or more accelerated outcomes and impact for a global solution. So I encourage everyone who's listening and watching to take the leaps of faith. Whatever you are afraid to do, just do it anyways. Even if you have people supporting you in your fear, still choose faith.
listen, I love that. Like whatever you're afraid to do it anyways, because a lot of times on the other side of our biggest fear is our biggest breakthroughs. And when you are a person, and I say it all the time, when you're someone who has faced your greatest fears and conquered them, you become unstoppable after that. When you realize that the thing that was supposed to kill me didn't kill me, when you realize that the thing that was holding me back was simply a piece of dental floss, then you're able to conquer what needs to be conquered. So I want to know, like, what was the mindset shift that you think that people would need today if they want to break into financial services? What mindset shift? Because they may say, well, I'm not good at math, right? Or, I don't know anything about that. Even when we have our conversations around finances, there are things that you teach me, even as, someone who is not young-ish, but young middle-ish. So, what is a mindset shift that you think that people need to learn around financial solutions?
Start where you are.
Mm,
A lot of times people look at finances and think that it's a humongous mountain, right? And people are making mountains out of molehills. You can start wherever you are. If you only have $5 a week extra out of whatever money that you're earning or gaining, use that as a disciplinary action to save $5 a week. So at the end of the month, you'll have $20. If you save $20 a month, that accumulates over time. $20 a month will then accumulate to $240, over the course of a year. And think about that. Like, could you pay off a debt with $240? Could you invest in a savings account with $240? Would you be closer to an unsecured credit card with $240? Could you invest in yourself? Is there something that you want to improve about yourself? Could you invest in a course that's going to make you $100,000? Like, start somewhere. And it's really about the discipline. Money is more about discipline and stewardship than it is about accumulation of wealth, accumulation of much, or greed. And there's gluttony in money too. When people, deal with money, there's gluttony there too, because sometimes you have more than enough and still don't want to share with people who may need something. So overall, the discipline to do much with a little bit will help you to also have the same discipline to do much with a lot of it.
I totally, totally agree. You talked about discipline, and without discipline, there is no capacity. So we have all these conversations around capacity, and people are like, what they can't do. And that no closes the door, because whatever we're disciplined with, we attract. And one thing about wealth is attracted to management. So people wonder why people who get compounded things, it's because they manage the little that they have well. There's no need for it to come to you if you can't manage what you already have. So a follow up to that is, in your line of work, what do you think that people are struggling with right now that nobody is talking about? Because like these are the questions that we want to ask in the chat, but we don't. So I'm just going to let you proverbially answer and ask the question for them. What are they struggling with that they don't want to talk about when it comes to this area of finances? And you say start where you are, start small, don't be afraid to do it. But what's some practical stuff you can give us around that?
Well, the greatest obstacle that I see a lot of people deal with in the finance industry is integrity. Sometimes people decide that they want to do something and they have great intentions in the beginning. But once they see that there are some challenges, or it may not be their ideal scenario when fully accomplishing that thing. You see when people want to cut corners. Um, when they don't hear back from the lender with the answer that they wanted or they thought they were going to have, they want to then go look for another answer or go look for another lender that will give them what they want. But every industry has standards, and I want our audience to know that every industry has standards. So whenever you decide to go into an industry or to work with professionals from a certain industry, please do your research on the industry standards before you decide that you've made up your mind on how the scenario is going to play out. Another thing is that there are some exceptions. Ask for an exception. If you know that you're special and what you have is special and your family is special and your house is special and your business is special and what you have going on is special. So ask for special exceptions. Ask for special treatment. There is nothing wrong with you asking for what you really want. And if you can be accommodated, please receive the accommodation. So, all that being said, one, know your industry standards. Two, don't have too much pride to understand that the industry already has a standard and we're just fitting you in the industry. And three, if the industry standard does not meet your special circumstance, ask for an exception. You are that special that exceptions exist just for you.
Oh, I love it. Ask for an exception. And I think, this plays into just as human beings, our worthiness, right? So when we don't
Mhm.
feel worthy, we don't feel worthy to ask, and this bleeds over not just into finances, but into every area. And when you were speaking about every industry has standards. So, my industry for over 20 years is education. There are standards, there are professional regulations to be a professional educator. There are things that you have to go through if you want to maintain that level of integrity and credibility. These are things that are old school words that sound like curse words, but they matter because how we carry ourselves, how we live to a standard, ethics is important, how we carry it out. One of the things, when I'm talking to my mothers, they say things like, how you made your money matters, right? And it does, because whatever doesn't come out in the wash, it comes out in the rinse. And you may get by here and get by there, but eventually faulty practices will string you up. So what's something that listeners could do this week financially? Say I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Like we always talk about young people who are just starting out. We told them start small, be credible. But what if you're a middle-aged person and you're starting over due to life circumstances and you have very little either put to the side, or if emergency was to happen or they were laid off? What is one thing tangible that they could do this week to start helping them shore up themselves in the area of finances?
Oh, great question. Okay, so nobody gives the middle age a manual. There's no age manual, and I've come to this conclusion recently, and I'm like, whoa, what What an epiphany,
New
right?
phase, new stage, and it doesn't look like before. Absolutely.
Right.
New middle ground.
So I am, I'm here for the middle age group. Like young people, cool. If anybody between the ages of 18 and 40, I love you. You have all the resources in the world, right? Everybody 65 and up, I love you. You're right there at Social Security. Don't use Social Security as your security blanket. But for our middle aged people and anyone else who wants to do something today to change your life or to be more responsible with your finances, do a budget, please. Reevaluate your budget today, right? The budget that you had last week is not the same today. Why? Because inflation, because things are happening in the world. Like if war is going on in the Middle East, your gas prices are going up. So your gas budget, right, for 20 gallons a week is not the same price as it was last week. Okay. Your food budget for your staples, your bread, your milk, your eggs, it's not the same budget as last week. If bread, milk, and eggs cost $18 last week, I guarantee you it's about $22 to $23 this week. I guarantee you. So please reevaluate your budget. And it may sound redundant or excessive for you to look at your budget on a weekly basis, but those are the time. This is the times that we're living in right now. Every week, every day, something's changing. If though the powers that be are looking at the stock market every single day, every hour of the day, that should tell you something about how often you should be stewarding your finances and how well you should be stewarding your finances.
Absolutely. Budgeting is essential. You have to know where your money is going. You cannot be a good steward of your money if you don't respect money. You have to know where it's going. Money is currency. It's supposed to come and go, but as it passes by you, there should be a budget so you know how to take account for it. So, this is where we call our rapid fire round for relevant solutions. So, I'm going to ask you to finish the sentence. I'll give you a sentence stem and you just give me whatever pops in your head. Okay, so it can be a short statement or a one worder. So leadership is
Key.
ah yes. Success is
Christ.
faith is
All you need.
people need more,
Love.
people need less.
Hate.
What is a lesson you're still learning?
Honestly, how to be kind.
Kinder,
Yes. How to
more
be
grace. Right, because I find that you're very kind. It's just sometimes when we're in these roles of leadership, people mistake kindness for something else. So more kind, more understanding. I love it.
yeah.
What's one word for this season? Like if you had one word for this season, this brand new August that we have launched into, one word.
Spectacular.
Spectacular. I love it. And what is your solution for everyday life? What's your relevant solution?
Hmm. Well, it takes me back to the little kids' days. Read your Bible, pray every day, pray every day, pray every day. Read
Amen.
your Bible, pray every day, and grow, grow, grow. Hmm.
There is a manual for this life, and all the things and the tools that we need for where we are can be found there. I thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want you to let us know where we can find you, where we can find your company, how we can get in contact with you for these financial solutions, what you offer. Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. So you all can find me online. Our website is tickusa.com, TICCUSA.com. You can find me on all social media handles at I am Indya Chanel, the way that is shown here, INDYACHANL. TickUSA.com is on social media as well, on Facebook and Instagram. And connect with me on LinkedIn, Indya Chanel on LinkedIn as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, for another episode of Relevant Solutions with Dr. Ebony. And remember, real talk, real people, real solutions. And no matter what challenge you're facing, there's always a pathway forward. Until next time, keep seeking relevant solutions for everyday life.
Thank you for joining me for another episode of Relevant Solutions with Dr. Ebony. Before we close, I want to leave you with this. Every challenge deserves a solution, and every season has a purpose and a sound. No matter where you are today, remember your story is not over. If this conversation added value to your life, subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and help us continue spreading relevant solutions around the world. For more wisdom, encouragement, and strategies, explore my books, Even Birds Get Tired of Flying, Walk Until You're Able to Fly Again, and Even Birds Run Again, A Journey of Faith, Failure, and Perseverance, which are all available on Amazon. If you're ready to continue the journey, I invite you to join the Solution family inside the Solution Room, our school community where leaders and learners gather to move, learn, and grow from their now to their next. And as always, my prayer is that you receive relevant solutions for everyday life. I'm Dr. Ebony Wallace. Until the world hears, real talk, real people, real solutions.